All
Okay.
right. Uncle Roy B. Yokelson, thank
I
you.
remember.
Thank you for joining the Besties and representing Antland Productions, right?
Wait,
Yes,
wait,
don't
I got to
forget.
turn it around. There you go.
There we go. Antland Productions.
I should make one that has a bagel on the other side, I guess.
You should.
Mhm.
Actually, I'm surprised you don't have one with the bagel on the other side.
Maybe next year.
Well, thank you for taking the time to talk to us. We're just really interested in the demo production process and what it looks like different in different places. So we'll just jump right in.
Jump in.
According to Uncle Roy,
Uh,
what do you think the role of a demo is in 2024? Is it just marketing or to secure an agent? What's it for?
well, it's both. um, to secure an agent, you have to. I mean, your demo has to be strong and have great range because they're going to start listening. That first spot can't be too long because they won't hear the range. If that first spot is 25 seconds, yeah, you're wasting their time, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, to get representation. Now, when you get representation, that doesn't mean, oh, suddenly they're going to say, hey, this script would be great for Alicia, like in the old days. No, they send it to everybody, but you would like to be on their roster, and at least you'd be getting those auditions. The other one is the Mark Scott is the marketing. You have to drive traffic to your website or go on LinkedIn and post it there. And or the other thing is if you're on pay to plays, they want samples. They don't want the
Right.
whole demo. So you got to break it up into the pieces and put your samples up there and just hope that but the majority of your work is going to come from self-marketing.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
All of the
So
above.
tell us at Antland Productions, how long have you been making demos?
I'd say 40 years. You know, I
Just a
48
couple.
years 48 years in the business, but I didn't start with making demos. I started with doing TV and radio spots, and mostly was a engineer on jingles in the 80s, 90s, and beyond, and film scores and all that. So, but I love making demos. And
Yeah.
in the old days, it's one of your questions coming up. In the old days, people would say, "Here are my spots. Make a demo out of it." And that still happens today. And if you have a real spot and you want to put it on your demo, whether the rest of it is of real spots or not, is that just because the client was happy and just because you have it and it went on the air and everything, is it demo worthy? Is
Yeah.
it really show off? Or just because, well, I got paid for it, the client was happy, that's a good thing.
I talked to somebody earlier about this, and it occurred to me that those spots are not written for your voice to shine, right? They're written for the product to shine, for the brand to shine, and not really to showcase you. And so it might be a good showcase of your voice, and it might not.
Not only that, as an example, Michelle Torres sent me all her political spots, but
Hmm.
one of them, the music was so loud, but it was a real spot. It was a good spot. I put it into Isotope, the desktop, and I put it in music rebalance, and I poked up voice and pulled down everything else. So I was able to remix it, and,
Nice.
and now you could showcase, and so now you can hear her voice.
So, in the time that you've been making demos, just a
Yeah.
couple of years, what kinds of shifts have you seen in the industry with demo production?
Well,
Other than that shift from using real spots
yeah.
to mock work.
As the trends change and all those things, well, like agents, or at least the word on the street used to be, okay, commercial demo. The agents want a commercial demo, and that's true. But then
Mhm.
it'd be great if they had a commercial and a narration, or commercial and a medical, or something, so they can send you on a wider range of things. Commercial demo, we used to say, oh, 60 seconds. I mean, you don't want to waste the casting person's time. So, but it doesn't have to. If you've got a lot of range to show, 75 seconds. I think that's what I aim for.
Mhm.
Um, some people that produce demos, they don't know how to trim after it's done. You know, some of the scripts are a little long. I don't need to hear the whole story, every nuance. I don't need to hear the punchline necessarily, or sometimes I don't even need to hear the product name. It would be nice to know what the product is, but if we get the sense of hearing the range, we don't necessarily care what the product was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about what genres of demos you produce.
What I like to do, I like to partner with other coaches when I
Mhm.
make demos. So if somebody comes to me and says, "Oh, I need coaching towards a commercial demo," I will partner with another coach and say, "Okay, she or he will get you ready. When they say you're ready, we will co-direct and I will produce."
Nice.
That's the way I like to work. So I've pretty much done it all. I've done gaming, I've done in-show narration, I've done, you know, I think I've done production-wise, and I can co-direct in any genre, really, you know. And then some of the people like Tom Pinto, who's the in-show narration guy, and I said, "Hey, you want to co-direct?" "No, man, it's your gig, you do it," you know. So okay, he has that confidence.
Yeah.
Um, I can produce in any style.
So do you feel like it is it important for producers to try to niche down the types of demos they produce if they don't have, I mean, you have the expertise from a wide range and you're allowing somebody else to do the coaching and help direct. Let's say
Right.
somebody's not doing that. Do you think it's important for them to niche down?
Some people will say, "Oh, that's not a niche that I am comfortable with,"
Mm-hmm.
and that's fine. You know, I mean, I would never say I could produce an automotive demo. That's Cliff's department. I would
Mm-hmm.
never. Could I put an automotive spot on your commercial demo? Yes, I could do that. I might even say, "Hey, Cliff, can you help me with this one spot?" We did that once or twice, and Cliff did the automotive spot, and we stuck it on. The rest of the demo was fine. You know,
Okay. So, what criteria does a talent need to meet before you're willing to make them the demo? And I think you already talked about that you're sending them off to other coaches. So, you know they're coming back to you from that coach and they're saying they're ready. What do you look for or listen for?
have they been? Well, that you know, whether I send them or they come to me and say, "Well, I've been coaching. I take direction great," and this happened to me a couple of times, and I even after 45 minutes to try and get through the first spot, I said, "You can't do this, so I'm going to give you your money back."
Mm-hmm.
"Oh no, you'll coach me. I'll take coaching with you, and blah blah." And then we redid it, and it, you know, it came out okay. It wasn't my favorite demo, but he got better, and I did it. So if they're really struggling, I'll just kick it back to the director. It's happened even with somebody who said, "Oh yeah, they're ready." And sometimes they get in the session and they're just nervous, and you've got two directors, but the two directors we're very nurturing and very trying to make you comfortable and get good reads out of you and inspire you, you know, get the energy up. A lot of people, you know, they're doing their demo and the energy just isn't there.
Yeah. And you
Uh,
really need to be able to take direction from multiple people to be prepared to step into a Source Connect session. I've had 7 or 8 people on one call, all telling me different things. It's like, ah,
did you see Bev's show last year that we're going to do again this year at VO Atlanta?
which
The
one?
the good, the bad, and the what the F the directed session. Did you see?
No, I didn't. I'll have to pop in for that one.
Yeah. So we go through. First scenario was the talent was, you know, he had the wrong mic, he had the wrong, and then at the end it's like, "So send me the file." "Oh, was I supposed to record it?" You know, that was the first scenario, and God bless Graham Spicer because he was the talent. And then the rest of it was okay. The talent, the clients are a mess. So it was Cliff and J. Michael and Erica J. and Emma O'Neill, and they were the clients. Or
Oh, I would love to be part of that.
oh well, VO Atlanta, you'll see it.
I'll be in there.
Yeah, and so J. Michael kept giving direction. There was a spot about a bacon cheeseburger. And he said, I want the bacon. I want to smell the smoke. Smoke. I want smoke. So I'd go, okay. And I was the engineer. I'm on stage. I'm the engineer. I say, okay, Graham, take 3. And Jim goes, smoke. That was the direction. And then Graham is just like, yeah, but I'm not hearing any feedback from the talent, from the client. Did they like it? They're ordering lunch. Don't worry about it. J. Michael was ordering lobsters and stuff.
That's funny.
It's fun.
So talk me through your thoughts on the question has been brought up that there should be a separation of church and state, so to speak, between demo producers and coaches, that coaches shouldn't be producing demos because they can't be unbiased, or that they're, there's no way for them to have outside feedback or whatever. So speak to that now, since you're not doing the coaching and then the demo. I feel like you're in a good position to
whatever combination of coaches I work with, that seems to be great. They've got them ready, and the talent trusts the coach because they've worked together. We did one of these today with Liz and Ezra. We did a telephony demo with Deb Castle. So Liz had coached, Liz has her ideas, and now I'm coming in as I have no idea what to expect. So Liz directs for what she hears, and I direct for what I hear. Let's hit this word, but more energy. Get your energy up, and that's very typical of any. When you're doing a demo and you're in there, but it's like a real session. Okay, so we're doing maybe whatever you're doing, 5 spots, 7 spots. A real session's going to go like that.
Yep.
Whether it's 1 spot, 7 spots, whatever it is, you got to keep that energy up. So anyway, the combination, I like to collaborate, and that it's not all my fault if it's bad. No, I'm just kidding. I share the wealth when it's good.
Perfect.
It's that way.
So tell me about your production process. So somebody's come to you from a coach and you sit down with them. Where do they go from there?
After the coach says, okay, they're ready, I interview the talent for script choices. It's not, oh, hey, pick some scripts out of this pile, which some of the demo mills do. Or one of the demo mills that we spoke of earlier before the tape was rolling here. They tell the talent, write your own scripts. What the hell? Write your own scripts? After you paid all that money? Okay. So I interview you. You tell me about your 3-legged cat, and I write a 3-legged cat food commercial. That's usually the way and Jared Brescher had a cat, got hit by a car. I paid for the amputation. And then we wrote the spot about Kitty Roy, because he named it Roy after I saved its life. Aww. So Kitty Roy is the 3-legged cat. And it was just a cat. So whatever your interests are, that's what I write about. This way, you're just telling me in a very natural conversational way about, it's things that interest you. Then when I'm done writing the script, I have a built-in secret. My girlfriend is the word snob. So she goes through the script and dots the I and crosses the T and makes sure that it's grammatically perfect.
Love it.
Yeah.
An added edge. So they've read their scripts. What happens next?
Well, there might be one coaching session with the coach prior to recording. Here are the scripts. Do one coaching session just so everybody is familiar. You're comfortable. We don't have to do much script editing, although it happens. Scripts are too long. All right, we can't have that 25-second spot for the first spot. So then the recording session. I prefer if people come here because I've got a lot of different microphones from $50 to $3,500, you know. And I, with every script or every two scripts, I change microphones so sonically the spots sound a little different. Okay.
Interesting.
To which some people might argue, well, that's not a representation of what they can do in their own booth, you know. That would be something to debate about, you know. You would want the all right, home studio quality. Well, send your client, here's me in my booth,
Yeah.
and then here's my demo, which shows range. And
But if somebody wants to record at home, you'll accommodate
oh,
that.
absolutely, that's what we did today. I forget where Deb Castle lives. Liz is up in Kingston. I'm down here in New Jersey, and yeah, we just did a 3-way Zoom session.
Mm-hmm.
Deb recorded locally. She's going to send me the file. You don't need Source Connect or Connection Open or anything. We're just using Zoom to listen and direct, and then the talent sends me the raw file. And I've marked my script, damn it, with see, even the engineer has to mark their script with take numbers, so I know how to piece it together when I get it back.
Yeah.
I may or may not, after the edits, I may or may not send that just the naked edited voice file and say, okay, just want to make sure everybody's cool with performance and the edits and everything. Don't have to. I can,
Mm-hmm.
and then I subscribe to like 4 different music production, stock music libraries. And I wind up downloading, I don't know, 6 or 8, and I play the voice on one computer. I play the samples on another computer, and I play them against each other just make sure, all right, that one could work. Let's see what else. And I get like 6 or 8. I put them in, I use Adobe Audition. So in multi-track, I got channel 1 is the voice, and then 8 channels of music, and I try to line up so that the hits of the music come in where they're supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
And then I make those mixes. I make what I think is a good sequence. Talent, and maybe even the coach are welcome to give me feedback on that. No, I think that other spot. No, that spot, the spot that's fourth, that should be first. That's
Mm-hmm.
my strength. Okay, great. That's fine. I need that feedback. You know what your strength is. So, and then we'll resequence, or if there's something else, if they don't like the music I chose, it's okay. We can either choose it together. I can play stuff over Zoom, and we can pick other music. It's happened. But I've never used the same piece of music twice. You know, some of the demo mills, they have CDs. They bought one CD library. And if so if you're searching for sexy, it's got 3 cuts. All right. After that, then what do you do? You know?
Yeah.
It's too easy these days to, in a good way, to have access to really good current stock music in any genre. It's a little tricky when you're doing medical and when you're doing technical and e-learning. You know, what's the range of music that's going to go there?
And is there even music at all?
Yeah, well, on e-learning, I do produce with less. It's mostly, or let's say if there's 5 spots, the 2 or 3 of them have production and the others don't, because e-learning jobs don't have any production.
Right.
And the client just wants to hear the voice, but it also has to be entertaining and and engaging. So we do produce, but it's not overproduced. Speaking of overproducing, it's very easy. I hear too many demos that are just
There's just a lot going on.
well, the music's too busy, it's too loud. They compress the crap out of these demos. What some people hire me because they've heard the demos on my website and they say, you know what, your demos, they're not in my face. They're not overly compressed and limited, and the S's aren't screaming at you.
Yeah.
So
If someone's, I forgot to ask this earlier, if someone's recording in their own studio, do you do a studio evaluation just to make sure that it's up to par?
Yeah, they have to send me yeah, if they're doing it from home, right? They've got to send me 10 seconds of room tone and a 30-second read all in one file, and then I listen to it, and as long as I can clean it up and advise them how to clean theirs up,
Yeah,
depending on what DAW they use and what mic it is. And if they have more than one mic, yeah, I would encourage they could change microphones just to get it to sound a little different.
I love it. Okay. So, how important do you think those custom scripts that you're talking about are versus reworking existing copy when you're crafting a demo?
I think it's crazy important because, like I said, you're just telling me about your life. Where do you give? What's your charitable place? What's your cause? You're going to tell me in a more heartfelt way than here's a breast cancer spot. All right, maybe. You know, um, I think it's crazy important to not just, oh, here's 1,000 scripts, pick some, or here, write your own scripts. Write your own scripts. At least you could pick your subject and kind of, I don't know if anybody cleans them up after that. I would hope so. Send them over to the word snob.
Hmm.
I think it's very important. I don't, even with medical, when I did Gene Lupo's demo and Debbie Irwin was co-directing, had coached and co-directing, there were, within medical, there's different kinds of procedures and different kind of fields. You got to show range in a medical demo. And she was very good about her scripts and directing him. We co-direct, to get the different, I'm in the operating room, and this is the procedure going on. Here's the patient. Patient needs to be educated on medical, on meds,
Hmm.
or anything. Um, so those scripts, they're highly specific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, are you, you're, other than working with outside coaches and directors,
Yeah,
when it comes to the rest of it, you're not outsourcing any of it. You do all of the production yourself.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you open to collaborating with talent? So if a talent came to you and they're like, I already hired a copywriter, I've got my ads, I've got it all written. I love the way that it is.
Mhm.
I've already got my own coach and I just want you to produce it. I'm just going to send you the files. Would you be open to that?
First, I would say check with your coach and see if they would mind if I co-direct. Assuming it's not been recorded yet.
Hmm.
But saying, hey, I've got my coach lined up and we're set to go. We're going to record soon. Would you just do the production? I would try to sway them, but no, if they said, oh, everything's recorded already, whatever. But if I am allowed to co-direct, I'm going to run those scripts past the word snob and shiny them up a little bit and
Yeah.
cut out. There's a lot of extraneous stuff, or at least look at these scripts. Okay, but each of these scripts is 30 seconds. How we want to get it to
What's your plan?
75 seconds. We gotta edit it down.
Yeah.
So I would be open to anything. I love to produce, but I love to direct.
I think that's a wise choice too, to have some external feedback, objectivity from
6
somebody
years are
else.
better than 4, so
Yeah, I love it. So, in the time that we've been talking, I've heard a lot of really great reasons why somebody would want to work with you. But if you had to nail it down in elevator pitch, why should a talent choose to work with you specifically?
well, we're gonna have fun. I'm gonna beat you up, but in a loving way. It'll be a collaboration. I will do everything in my power to make you happy, one way or the other. And if you're not happy, I'm giving you your money back. Uh, I do not overproduce. My demos sound like stuff on the air, not stuff that it's like here. You go on these other demo sites, and they're just so compressed and limited and EQ'd and crazy. A real spot's not going to sound like that on the air. Well, hopefully not. I mean, part of the problem with the way spots are mixed is they mix in the edit. The video editor is in charge, and they're running Premiere, and if they put the voice in there and they put a piece of music, I think that's about right. I just have the years of experience. I hear for a living, so I know what it's supposed to sound like. I've been producing radio spots since the late 1970s, I hate to admit, and 1980s, and mostly was a music engineer as far as jingles and film scores, and all the demos are very musical.
Mm-hmm.
So even lining the spots up, the music has to flow, and it's easier to teach an engineer music than it is to teach a musician engineering.
Makes sense to me. All
Yeah.
right. Well, did we miss anything? Is there anything
I
you
don't
want to
know.
add?
I don't have the questions up there.
Uncle
Okay.
Roy, how much do you charge for a demo?
Well, I think my commercial demo is about equal to where most of us are, around 2,400-ish neighborhood. I know some people are more, some people are closer to $3,000. I would say there's a range of 1,500 to 2,500, depending on the genre. Like telephony would be cheaper. Animation, gaming, those are a little more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Promo, I have to find the sound bites, or in-show narration. But those can be 2,400, 2,500, something like that. Custom scripts, right? Maybe a coaching session. Since I'm not the official coach on most of my demos, they'll take those scripts, those custom scripts, do at least one coaching session to make sure that everybody's comfortable and on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
And then you record at home, you record here, send it to me, I produce, and I take it in payments. It's a third up front to get the scripts going, a third the day of recording, and a third when you're 1,000% satisfied and happy. And if if along the way, or you don't like the way it came out, whatever, then I'll give you your money back.
All right. Sounds good.
All right.
Now we know.
As it should be.
Yes.
Some of those demo mills might not do that, or you never know.
Right. Well, and it's not like you're hiding how much things cost, right? It's like it's
I mean,
open.
it's not on my website, but if somebody asks, yeah, I have nothing to hide.
Yeah, and it sounds like it's a case by case basis too, like depending on what they're already bringing to the table or what you're going to need to do, like you said with promos, you got to go find the things. Yeah.
When I did Michelle Torres, I mean, she's a very good writer, so she wrote a lot of her stuff, and the political stuff, she kind of does in her sleep, so much less work for me.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, go fix the peaks in so and so's audio and
Or teach her how.
yeah, teach her how to fix the peaks herself. Doesn't
Yeah.
she know she can highlight them and just do two and it brings them down?
Are these videos a VO Booth Besties series of, so you want to work with a demo producer? Here are you can find out about each one of us.
Yep, pretty much. We're gonna have an episode where we just talk, the three of us, and just kind of discuss like what we learned. And
Mhm.
you know, there's been some really interesting points that people have brought out that I never thought of.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna sit and we're gonna talk about those, and then we're just gonna introduce it, and it'll be on our YouTube channel, and it'll be in a playlist, so they can just literally go through and listen a little bit, skip ahead. Okay, well, what do they have to say about this? And
Right.
everybody's getting the same questions, not always in exactly the same way, because
Mhm.
sometimes you answer the question before I can ask it, and I'm not gonna ask. Like today, who was I? Anne Ganguza. She said
Okay.
something like, "Oh, I." Or no, it was Heidi Rue. It was when I was interviewing Heidi Rue. She's like, "And we charge this much for our demos." And I was like, "Well, you answered that question, so I'm not gonna ask it now. You already
Right.
answered it, you know?"
So you're going to put chapter markers with where each question starts so that people can kind of.
Probably not,
Okay.
because we're up to, like, 30 of these now, so I think I'd probably lose my mind if I had to mark all of those. I wish we had asked all the questions in the same order consistently, but the same thing, like, when someone asks something comes up earlier, it's like, "Well, here, we're talking about this right now," like, "I write custom scripts for all my demos." "Okay, let's talk about script writing for a second and why you do that," you know, and so they're
Right.
not all gonna be in the same order, but I'm hoping that it'll be what it will become as a resource where someone's like, "Okay, I'm thinking I wanna work with Roy Yokelson. Let me go listen to this video," and that way and you can link to it on your site if you want, you
Oh,
know, like, "Hey, you wanna know why you should work with me? Here, this is
yeah,
an entire interview that
that's
explains
great.
what I do." It's more to give you guys resources to access the people and the people resources to access you.
That's
So,
great.
the goal is eventually anybody who calls themselves a demo producer, whether good or bad, would be in this playlist.
Uh-huh.
We're gonna put a little thing at the beginning that says, "We're not endorsing anyone. This is not a we're not saying we like these people, but it's pretty obvious in our interviews who we like and don't like." I mean, it's kinda hard not to be like, I mean, and we've always been very open. If someone wants a recommendation and they reach out to each of us personally, we all have different people we recommend. You
Right.
know, I've worked with a variety of people. NJ's worked with different people. JT's worked. All of our demos came from different producers.
Yeah.
So we have different perspectives and we share it.
Mhm.
I tried really hard not to in any of these interviews to not influence or be like, "You made my demo." I didn't say it.
Right. Right.
I don't
Okay.
think like so I actually interviewed Terry Daniel first, and I think you know he made my first demo, which I don't use.
No, you
And
can't. It's not marketable.
well, to be fair, I
Yeah.
wrote all the scripts for it, not
Oh,
him.
okay.
So
That's
it was
better.
actually not, and the production value wasn't terrible. It wasn't
Okay.
great. The
Right.
music's canned music that he uses on
Right.
multiple demos, but I
Right.
signed with CESD with that demo. So
Wow.
I did I did okay. I think that they I think they took a chance on me because, I don't know if you know Roger Becker, but I had coached with him and he recommended me to them. So I think they were like, "Okay, we'll see what she can do," but they told me, "You need a new demo, stat." So
Mhm.
I made my new demo and they recommended Ape Sauce. I don't know if you know, Jeff Gerner with Ape Sauce up there in New York, but,
No.
that's who made mine back in the day. It's like
Mhm.
3 years old now, so it's probably time for a new one, Alicia. Stop.
You know what we didn't talk about, or I while I was peeing, I thought of it, but I forgot to say. Uh, okay, you've got a demo, it's 3 years old. Maybe it just needs a refresher.
Yeah.
Maybe just record one or two spots, resequence it, and then put it back out there.
Yeah, that's actually what I did a year ago. I think when I made my demo, the trend was still to put kind of a higher energy spot in the first spot, you know,
Okay.
and then go to maybe a luxury read and then your conversational read. And by last year,
And
it
your
was like
PSA.
that conversational read needs to be the first spot on your demo. So I messaged them and I'm like, can we fix that? And they were like, "Yep, we got it." And they just sent me
Yep.
like 20 minutes later, I had it in my inbox, reordered, and it sounded great. And I was like, "Perfect."
Yeah, yeah. So you can,
Yeah.
if we were still recording, you could snip that out and shove it in somewhere.
We are still recording.
Oh man, yeah. You need
So
all the blackmail material you can get.
When Uncle Roy was peeing, he had this idea.
That's right. Put it in there. I
I
forgot while I
will.
was being. I thought we could. Yeah.
No, yeah, I think I gotta cut and paste this anyway, so I'll throw that in there because that's a really good point. I don't think anybody's really talked about that, and I haven't asked, like, what do you charge for a demo? If you're just changing one spot out on a demo and you
Right.
didn't make the demo.
It was a peeing thought of what the answer would be. What you just said. 350, 400 a spot. I don't know because let's say you have 6 spots and it's 2,400, so
Kinda
400 a
averages
spot.
out.
Yeah, something like that.
All right.
It depends.
Good to know, Uncle. All right, well, thank you so much. I'm gonna close the recording now, and we'll
Okay.
put this up.
Okay, everybody, mark your script. Damn it.
Yes.